Hello, everyone. So, I wanted to share this kind of sentiment that I have been reflecting on lately. I guess it's a kind of saying, I'm not really sure what to call it. I've just been referring to it as a sentiment. And I do feel like it might be a little contradictory and maybe even paradoxical and who knows, maybe ironic. I'm not sure. Given the videos that I make and content that any other spiritual creator or teacher or whatever, anyone who's written spiritual books or anything like that, or just shared spiritual information in the form of speech or through writing or anything like that. But the kind of sentiment is that the truth cannot be spoken, but it can only be experienced. So again, the truth cannot be expressed verbally. It cannot be spoken. It can only really be experienced within. And I made that video on kind of tasting the honey. I think that's a good kind of analogy or like a similar sentiment. And again, I could see how it might be a little contradictory to making videos about spirituality and realizing your true divinity and whatnot. But I really do feel and really stand behind that sentiment, and there's just a lot of truth, right, to that expression of how ultimate oneness and ultimate reality, the capital D divine, whatever you want to call it, cannot be spoken about, but it can only be an experience that you have within. So what does this mean? I'll kind of maybe share a little if it didn't really immediately resonate. But we oftentimes take in so much, and this was actually something that I was coming up against initially in the beginning of my journey. I was reading like so many books and listening to so many talks and lectures, and really wanting to like have that experience, that like instant shift overnight of like realizing like, oh my god, like none of this is real, and only what's real is like when you deconstruct the ego mind. But how can you do that? And anyway, so I was trying to do that by taking in all these facts, right? Like I was filling my mind, I was filling my brain with so much facts and knowledge, and I was like, okay, well, the path of Dharma is about this, this, and that, and that's beautiful. Don't get me wrong; it's really important to learn about that stuff and to, really, I guess, educate yourself on what all that entails, and it's so beautiful, especially as a teacher or whatever, to kind of help others understand it, but really the ultimate truth of reality is something that really can only be felt in here and experienced in here. It's nothing actually factual, and it's nothing that you can conceptualize or cognize. Honestly, it's actually just the truth. And it took me years to get there. Like I said, throughout everything that I've taken in these past several years of teachers, mentors, books, like training programs, everything, what I've really came to realize is that, again, ultimate reality is something that you have to have an experience within. And it's really not, honestly, until then that you can actually realize what all of this entails and what the true awakening journey is like. Because again, in that video on tasting the honey, I was talking about how, like, for instance, someone can have a PhD on honey and write about it and, cognize everything and conceptualize everything, but it's not until, and someone might think, oh, that person is so smart and they're so like, wow, they're literally an expert on that subject. But that same person who literally knows everything there could be to know about honey and is just this world-renowned expert can at the same time, funny enough, not really know what it's truly like, because they haven't actually had that internal experience, because they don't even know what it's like to taste it. They've only ever studied it, seen it, looked at it under a microscope, whatever. But you can't actually have the true experience of something until you've, like, again, experienced and taken that in. I hope that makes sense. It was just something that was very revolutionary to me. And again, I could see how it might be a little contradictory, right? Like, to be this, to be someone to share all this information, obviously through speech and using my throat chakra and all that. But if there's anything that I can leave you all with, it's that wherever you're at on your journey of awakening and of healing and of all of this, right? Wherever you're at, just carve out some time every day, some time, just like a moment to really just sit with yourself with like none of this, and just be like, right now I'm at Mount Shasta, which is the root chakra of the whole earth. But it also, because it's such a mystical energy, it's right here, actually. I don't know if you could see it. There's a big cloud above it, but it's so beautiful. But anyways, because there is so much mystical energy, it really actually also has a lot of the traits and the characteristics of the crown chakra as well. So anyways, my point being is that being in these spaces helps you really realize that. But I obviously realize, like, some of us, we're living in these concrete jungles. We're not living in places that really suits our awakening kind of journey. So it doesn't have to be at this energy vortex sacred site that you have to come here to experience it. But even if you, again, just take a moment each day to just be with yourself. It doesn't even have to be in a traditional form of meditation. I swear, I'm telling you, I promise, everyone has the ability to really realize what this is like. And once you realize it, it's such a beautiful experience, and you realize that you just are the ultimate expression of divine light and divine love, and you are untouchable and unstoppable and really capable of everything, because how could you not be? You are from the source of all that exists. It's just sometimes can be hard when we are so stuck in the ego mind, and we see all this chaos and destruction happening all around us. But really, that actually is part of it. It's that Kali energy, right? It's the creation, the preservation, and just the ultimate destruction of everything happening. And it's all part of the divine unfolding of the universe. Like, everything, every, what's that expression? Every snowflake falls each in its perfect place or something. It's meant to be that way. So I know that was kind of off topic, off a little on a tangent. Yeah, I think I'm kind of rambling now, but I just kind of wanted to just say that that ultimate truth can only be experienced, and you experience the shit out of it when you are just in stillness. And like I said, I'm in Mount Shasta right now, which is the root chakra of the whole earth. It's so powerful. There's so much Shakti energy. And it's only when, well, it's not only when, but it's especially when you come to places like this that you really realize that. And you're just like, conceptual knowledge and understanding of everything kind of essentially goes out the window, and you realize sometimes you don't need that. Of course, it's amazing to have, and it's beautiful to have, and I love it. But, it's like I can read A Course in Miracles all day, and there's always something new to learn from it. But when you come here, and it just flows out of you naturally, and you're living inspired, you're living in spirit, and that is just all you need. And you realize that this fabricated reality that we live in, that the global elite run and don't want you to realize your ultimate truth is, all that begins to crumble when you embody that and live in that highest expression of divine truth, by just awakening to the reality of everything. So anyways, I just wanted to leave you with that. I hope that makes sense. Reach out to me if you like a Dharmic healing session, if you want to do a one-on-one Dharmic healing session. I've been giving out free discovery calls, so if you want to see what that's all about, you can reach out to me. And I also have a program launching soon that's going to be really focused on so much of what I share, and is a way for you all to understand how to live in this way on a daily basis, even when, we're not living in ashrams in India, and, most of us obviously can't do that. We're still, some of us, living right in the 3Ds. So again, just remember that really the ultimate truth cannot be spoken. It can only be experienced. And unless you have a taste of that honey, you're not going to really understand what all of this is really about and what the true awakening journey is all about. So I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will talk soon. Bye.